Greetings, family. Empress D, obviously in nature. I hope everybody's well and is taking a page out of my book and going out to nature regularly. Okay, family? Today I want to talk about the 12 universal laws, family. Now, these are the laws that govern the universe. And for me, when you kind of overstand these rules and apply them to your life, it helps things go smoothly. It helps you to understand things. It helps you to tailor and guide your life and understand yourself and what may be happening around you once you get and live by these universal laws. Whether you choose to or not, they're in play anyway. You might as well know them and work with them to control and shape your life. Now, because there's 12, I had to print them out and I have to refer to my little sheet in order to remember them all. The first one I'm going to speak of is the law of energy, family. And what that law speaks to is that everything that exists has a vibrational and an energetic frequency, okay? So we've spoken about this before. Measured in hertz, things have energy. People, places, things, everything contains energy, family. The second that I'm going to speak to is the law of rhythm. When I think of the law of rhythm, I think of things like the seasons. I think of the moon cycles and phases. I think of a woman's menstrual cycle. So this law speaks to the fact that there are rhythmic occurrences within the universe. And once we work with them, we're not in opposition. We kind of flow with the rhythm of the universe, right? The third I want to speak to is the law of action. This one explicitly speaks to the fact that ain't nothing gonna happen if you don't move, family. You can make all the plans in the world, but action has to take place in order to see results. The fourth I want to speak to is the law of oneness, family. We've spoken about this before. We're all one. Everything on this planet is interconnected. What affects me affects you, and so on and so forth. That is the law of oneness. The next is, and we're at 5, is the law of gender. And that means everything has a gender, has a masculine and feminine aspect. So everything has a masculine and feminine aspect. And to me, and how I try to live my life is it's balance, right? It's all about balance. The sixth one I'm going to speak to is the law of polarity. Just like the law of gender, there are opposites. Up, down, hot, cold, good, bad, right? Everything has a polarity, family. The seventh universal law is the law of relativity. So for this one, I think of nothing is good or bad. Thinking makes it so. Okay, and what I mean by that is everything is relative. Something that may be on paper be considered bad is not considered bad in a different circumstance, right? I hope that is clear. I'm going to keep going. Number 8, I think we're at, yes, is the law of change, right? And that simply means that nothing remains the same. Things are always in flux, family. You can always count on change on this planet and within the universe. The 9th law is the law of compensation. And what that means is the work that you put in, at some point you will see the result. Now, the key and the trick about this one is that we can't always know when we will see the result. We don't know where and how the result will show up, but the result will show up at some point. So you will always be compensated for the efforts that you put forth. Oh gosh, the mosquitoes, I'm at dusk, risking my life to shoot this video. The 10th universal law is the law of cause and effect. And that quite simply means that you kind of, reap what you sow, what you put in, you get out, kind of thing. And that's pretty straightforward. The 11th and second last one is the law of correspondence, family. So what that means is, as within is without, right? As above, so below. There is always correspondence within this universe. what happens on the inside of you is reflected on the outside of you, kind of thing. And that's what the law of correspondence speaks to. And the last and 12th of the universal laws is the law of attraction. And this is the law that most people are most familiar with. It's essentially like attracts like, right? And those are the 12 universal laws. I will recap them quickly. The first is the law of energy. Everything has an energetic vibratory frequency. We also have the law of rhythm, the cyclical nature of things, the law of action, the law of oneness, the law of gender, polarity, the law of change, the law of compensation, the law of cause and effect, and the law of correspondence. I said and inadvertently too early. And lastly, the law of attraction, family. So I would encourage everybody to become familiar with these laws, because honestly, if you are cognizant and aware of them and use them and work with them within your life, life is much simpler, okay? Thank you for taking the time to listen to this message, family. I love and I value each and every one of you. One love.